Alright guys, so in the last video we created our initial index.html and app.js file, and we have those linked, and I have this running in live server from VS Code. You can see it's on my local host here. And of course you don't need to do that. You can just open it right on your file system, or you can use some other type of server. Whatever you want to do is fine. Now, one thing I didn't mention is how to stop the server. So if you want to stop it, then you can go down to this right here where it says port 5500, click that, and that will actually close the server up. So now if I were to reload this page, it's not going to work. All right, and then if you want to run it again, you can just right click and say open with live server. Okay, so in this video what I want to do is just focus on the console, because that's what we're going to be working in for a while. The console gives us a way to test things, to debug, to just a way to get to output stuff from our code. All right, back in the day before dev tools, we would do things like alert. If we wanted to, show something really quick, we would just say alert and run that, which isn't very efficient and it's just not a good way to do things. So now we have the console, and in Chrome and just about any other browser, you can open it up, the dev tools up with F12, and then you have different tabs, and console should be one of those tabs. So you can actually write JavaScript or execute JavaScript from the console. So again, if I wanted to alert 1, 2, 3 and enter, you'll see that that will actually execute. And you can get variables from your scripts that are connected. It's really powerful. Now this undefined that you see here just means that nothing was actually returned from this alert function that we wrote here. So we can put expressions in here. We can actually just put in a number. If we say 4, it'll give us back 4. If we say 4 plus 4, it'll give us back 8. We can select things from the DOM. In fact, if I just type the word document, it'll give us the entire document structure, so the HTML tags, all of that. If we want to select something from the DOM, we can do that from here. So we have this H1, and if we wanted to select that, we could use document dot query selector and pass in an H1, and we could do something like dot style dot color equals red, and it turns it red. All right, now I know that a lot of you guys might not know what query selector means, the style and all this, and don't worry about it. I'm just showing you that you can do pretty much anything you could do from a JavaScript file from within your console. Of course, it's not going to stick. If I reload, it goes away, but we can use it for testing, debugging, and just trying things out. All right, now if we want to log to the console from our application, let's put a comment in here. And by the way, if you don't know about JavaScript comments, // for single line comments, and a /* and then an */ for multi-line comments. Okay, and I'll just go ahead and leave that in there. But let's go back up here, and to log to the console, we simply say console.log. All right, and we'll say hello world and save. And notice that it executes right away because I'm using live server. If you guys are not, then you'll just have to reload after you type your code in. All right, so that's how we log to the console. If we hold control and mouse wheel, we can make this bigger or smaller as well. All right, so that's logging a string, and we're going to get into data types and all that later on, but just to show you, we can also log numbers. So we'll log 1, 2, 3. Now notice that the number is blue. That's because at least in the Chrome console, I'm not exactly sure about the others, numbers are blue, strings are going to be black. All right, we can also log booleans, which is a true or false. Go ahead and do that. Booleans are also blue. We can log, we can log variables. If we want to create a variable, like let's say greeting, and I'm going to get into variables too. Sometimes I might do some stuff that I haven't explained yet, but we will get into it in a little bit. So if we want to log greeting and save, you can see it logs hello. All right, we can also log arrays. Okay, so an array, we're going to just put some brackets. We'll just do an array of numbers, save, and you can see it logs the array. It also gives us this little arrow so that we can see each individual index and value. Okay, we can also log objects. So let's put in our, this is an object literal. So we'll say A1, B2, and save. And that'll log the object, and just like the array, we can hit the arrow button and we can see it in a more readable form. All right, another thing you can do with objects, which is really cool, is you can do console.table. Okay, so let's grab that and save, and it'll actually print the object out as a table. So we have the index and then the value. All right, another thing we can do is log errors. So if we say console.error, so at some point in your application, you might want to, output something as an error. So we'll say this is some error and save. And notice that it logs it, but it puts it in red. It also shows us exactly where it is in the application. If I click on this link here, it'll bring us to the sources tab and show us the code, which you can't really see. Let me just make this bigger, and it shows you right where it is. Okay. Now, in addition to, all right, let's close that up. Whoops. We just want to go back to our console. All right, so we can also clear the console, which is a good thing to do right about now. So if we say console.clear and run that and save, you'll see console was cleared. Okay, in addition to errors, we can do warnings. So we can say console.warn, and we'll say this is a warning. And it does the same thing as error, except it makes it yellow. And again, you can click on it and you can see exactly in the code where the warning happened. Okay, so the last thing I want to show you is the timer. So if we say console.time and we give it an identifier, like let's say hello, and then down here we're going to say console.timeEnd, same identifier, hello. And then we can do anything in between here. Let's say we would just want to console log hello world a bunch of times. Oops. I'll go like that, and I'll just tab this over and save. So what it did is it ran all this, it console logged hello world, and then it gave us the time that it took from this point, from the beginning to the end. Okay, so if you ever want to know how long something takes in your script, then you can use console.time. All right, so there's a lot of stuff here that you're probably not going to use for a little while, but I wanted to show it to you anyways. What we're going to be using the most is just the console log, just to show the output of whatever it is we're doing at that time, whether we're looping through something, whether we're looking at the result of a conditional, whatever it may be. We're going to be using the console to debug, to show things, and it's going to be a big part of this course. All right, so that's it, guys. In the next video, we're going to start to look at variables, and we're going to look at the different ways to declare variables like var, let, const, and then we're going to move on to data types. So I will see you in the next lecture.